Interested in better understanding the universe, but find the subject matter slightly complicated? CG Publishing's latest release makes space and science digestible for the average person.
We have a new book called The Simple Universe, and it's written by two Canadians based here in Toronto, Ian Brewster and Ken Shiwram. Ian is a science writer and Ken is a graphics genius. And between them, they've tried to explain the universe to us in beautiful color and simple terms. The attempt is to try and explain what they call the theory of everything, which is to identify the four forces that control our universe and plot them all the way back to the Big Bang. These are the four forces that have been identified by physicists. And so the book takes you through these different discoveries that we have. We have electromagnetism, we have gravity, we have the weak and strong nuclear forces. And all four of those forces can potentially be mapped back to the birth of the universe. And that's what the theory of everything is about, trying to figure out how we go back to the Big Bang and prove that everything came from this one moment. And the book hopefully takes you through that and shows you and explains how these four forces work and ideally ties them all together and makes it understandable. The theory of everything is built on Einstein's theory of relativity. It's one of the great foundation cornerstones of the theory of everything. One of the great things about Einstein's relativity is that it's one of the great truths of our time, and people tend to be intimidated by it and scared away by it. They think it's way too complicated to understand. And it is, in fact, very simple to understand. It's just, as I say, one of the great truths of our time, and it's been proven over and over again to be correct. The story is explained quite well in graphics terms, and hopefully the text is as simple as the graphics are. They work well together.
So I guess it's safe to say that there's very few books like this that make science simple out there.
There are very few. They tend to, most of the books tend to talk down a little bit to the reader, and we hope that this one doesn't. It is actually quite easy to understand some of this stuff, and some of these fundamental principles have been understood since the early 18th century. In fact, Voltaire's wife was one of the founders of the principles of relativity. She was one of the most important people in understanding this stuff, and that was 200 years ago.